Welcome back. So this is part of the channel where I go through a past exam question. This was from the IB. It was worth 6 marks, so therefore I should be able to get through this in 6 minutes or less. It will appear in other courses as it is a quotient rule question, so it will appear in any course that has a calculus element to it, including AP and A level. So I will start the clock and we will try and get through it in 6 minutes or less. Okay, let's go. Consider the curve with the equation y is equal to 2x over 1 plus x. X cannot equal -1 because that will create a vertical asymptote, undefined point. Find dy by dx. Then determine the equation of the normal to the curve at the point -2, 4. Okay, pause, take a screenshot and have a go if you want, but I will start going through this question. So, part A. If y is equal to 2x over 1 plus x, I notice straight away that it is a quotient rule question. So therefore, u would be equal to 2x. du by dx is equal to 2. v is equal to 1 plus x. Therefore, v prime, dv by dx, would just be equal to 1. Okay, so therefore then, if we are going to differentiate y with respect to x, I'm going to put y prime. Therefore, we have quotient rule formula, which is v du minus u dv all over v squared. Substitute everything in. V is 1 plus x. Du is just simply 2 minus u, which is 2x, and dv, which is just 1, so times by 1. All over v squared, which is 1 plus x all squared. Now, I said in a previous video, you can watch my playlist, that you don't really need to simplify this if you're going to substitute a value in. Okay, it just says find dy by dx. I have done that. I will just simplify it just as it is a relatively easy simplification. Okay, I will leave the denominator as 1 plus x squared, but the 2x and the minus 2x will cancel, leaving just simply 2. Okay, I'm going to leave it there. There we go. Now, determine the equation of the normal. So, normals are to do with coordinate geometry. They are when you have a, let's say, a gradient line and then you have a normal, okay, at the point -2, 4. So, let me just write that down, -2, 4. So, what's happening here is we have a curve. We want to find the gradient at a certain point on that curve, so like this, and then once we found the gradient at a certain point on the curve, we can find the gradient of the normal, and then essentially leading towards the equation of that normal. Okay, so we're going to have to use a certain rule here for perpendicular lines, which I'll get onto, but let's first of all, we have found y prime, so this expression that we found in part A, that I'm just putting in a box here, this is an expression for the gradient at a given point on the curve. So the given point on the curve, what we're talking about is -2, 4. So I'm going to substitute in -2 into this expression, which is the x value, and that will give me 2 over, now 1 minus 2 will be -1, 1 squared would just be 1. So the gradient at the point -2, 4, let's write that down. Let's pretend as though this is -2, 4. Okay, has a gradient of 2. Now, this is just purely a sketch so you can understand what's going on. I'm going to write down m is equal to 2. So essentially what we've done is we found the gradient at a given point on the curve at -2, 4. The gradient of that tangent is 2. Therefore, then, what we'll need to do is if we want to find the perpendicular gradient, because we are finding that what's called the normal, which is perpendicular to the tangent, okay, we will use this expression. So m1 times m2 is equal to -1. Okay, so 2 times m2 would equal to -1, so m2 is equal to -1/2. This is just the negative reciprocal rule that if you want to find a perpendicular gradient, so it's just the negative value, 1 divided by that value, so it's like the negative reciprocal, or m1 times m2 is equal to -1. Therefore, then, our normal gradient will have this form. Y is equal to mx plus c, and therefore y is equal to minus half x plus c. And I'm using y equals mx plus c here, but you could also use y minus y1 is equal to mx2 minus x1. And we want to substitute these two values in because our normal also goes through these two values. So when x is minus 2, y is equal to 4. So 4 is equal to, now minus 2 times minus half is positive 1 plus c. So therefore c is equal to 3. That gives me my final result of y is equal to minus half x plus 3. And that is the equation of my normal. Stop the clock.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel to see more math tutorials. Check out my playlists on my channel or click one of the videos above. I'll see you next time.